right. Let me just adjust this camera a touch. And we are good. Sorry it's incredibly dark looking over here, but it's just that really hard time of year with these sunbeams coming through these very sheer curtains. So hopefully you can see that okay. Let me just adjust that down a little bit more. There we go. All right. And we have a couple minutes until we get started. As the sun goes down, the light will be a little less blinding to me and a little easier to see. And we've got 3 minutes. Chat up on my phone. We've got a very excited Alice who's very ready. Are you ready to fold tonight, Alice? Yes. Yes, you are. Oh, all right. We are back at our regular 7 p.m. Monday time slot after a couple weeks of doing this a little bit earlier. What are you doing, Alice? We're going to work on some folds tonight, specifically working on our standard forward fold, Uttanasana. We're going to work on opening our hamstrings to try and deepen that a little bit through some mobility work and some stretches. Yeah, I've been really into folding lately. So that should be fun. If you do have 2 blocks, just tucking those up towards the top of your mat, they really come in handy to have under your hands during your low lunge through half split movements to help keep nice and stacked and long through the spine. We'll get started in, less than a minute. Nice. We are going to start lying on our back, so if you want to slowly start making your way down, I'll give it a few more seconds for anyone else to join. Although it's YouTube, so you can join at any time. All right, Alice, I'm going to need you to just scoot let's go a little to the right, so I can get my legs out here. And we can start slowly taking it down onto the back to start to settle in, either giving those legs a stretch out long, or my personal favorite way to start, bottoms of the feet together, knees wide, finding a reclined butterfly or reclined Baddha Konasana. Start to gently open through the hips. We'll start with just some nice deep breaths, either with the legs in this position or out long. Starting to settle into the mat this evening. Starting with a nice full inhale through the nose, filling the lungs. And exhaling from the mouth, letting the body soften. Okay, so let's take a 3 to 5 more breaths here before we get moving. All right, let's take one last breath here. Nice. If you're in that knees wide position, reaching the hands down to the outside of the legs to close. Let's all give the knees a hug in towards the chest. Hands can come to rest on the shins. We'll start circling through the knees, either moving in the same direction or opposite, as we start to get some gentle movement going through the hips. Taking these nice and slow, like you're moving through honey. Nice. Let's take one more here. And we'll go ahead and switch the direction with those circles. Great. Last two. And last one. Nice. Releasing to let the feet plant on the ground. Take a few windshield wipers, letting the knees fall left and right. Getting a little more rotation going into the hips. So we can get the lower body warmed up. Take about 10 more seconds here to windshield it out. Great, slowing that to a stop. Let's bring the feet to plant on the ground and pick up the right leg. Flexing the right foot, crossing right ankle over the left thigh to find a figure 4 here. You can keep this reclined with that left foot planted or scoop the left leg up, interlacing hands on the back of the thigh. Flexing into the feet, thinking about the right knee driving away, opening through the hip. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Great. If you have that left leg lifted, release it to plant back on the ground and bringing the right hip back to neutral. Taking the hands just behind the leg here. So you have a generous bend in that knee, hanging onto the back of the thigh. We'll take that leg away a good amount now. So my arms are extended as they hang onto that leg. I'm going to take a point through this right toe. You can take a flex, but that'll be harder on the hamstring. And I like to start with the point. Let's take an inhale here. And with an exhale, extending through that right leg as the toe points up to the sky. Engaging that quad. Inhaling to take a bend. Exhaling to extend the leg. Nice. Now you keep going there, or maybe you give the leg a little bit more of a hug in, taking a more of a bend into the elbows. And we're going to take 5 more of these bend and extends here. So this is 5. Using the breath with an exhale, extending 4, 3, 2, and last one. We'll find that extension and hold it. Continuing with the breath here, maybe with an exhale, that leg might come a little closer to you, only coming as far as feels comfortable and safe for your body. Great. If you like, you can keep this left foot planted, or you could lengthen that left leg away to intensify this. Let's take one more breath, really using those deep exhales. Great. If your leg is pulled in a little closer, let's bring it back so the toe is up towards the sky. Releasing the right hand so the left hand is holding onto the right leg. We'll start to guide this right leg across the body towards the left, keeping the low back down on the ground, so we're not going very far here. Once you've gone as far as you can go, keeping the back down, try to turn the bottom of the foot to face down towards the ground, kind of sickling the ankle. Maybe getting into the IT band there. Let's take one more breath in. And breath out. Great, bringing that right leg back up, releasing to plant. We're gonna take that into the other side, picking up the left leg, flex the foot, left ankle over right thigh. Right leg can scoop up, hanging onto the back of that thigh if you'd like, flexing into the feet, as the left knee actively drives away, opening the hip, figure 4. Let's take 2 more breaths here, opening through the hips. Great. If you have that right leg lifted, let's release it to plant and bring the left hip back to neutral so the knee is facing back towards us. We'll hang on to the back of this thigh. Starting with the arms extended, leg a generous amount away to take an inhale here. You could also use a strap for this. And with an exhale, extending that leg. Inhale takes that bend. Exhale extends. Nice. You can keep going at whichever space feels comfortable for you. Maybe use a strap to take it a little further away. Maybe you hug that leg in a little closer and find that extension. We're going to go for 5 more here. Engaging that quad. Nice active leg, either pointing or flexing through that foot. This is 4. Last 3. Last 2. And last 1. We'll hold this one. Maybe using the exhales to draw that leg a little closer. And if you did so on the other side, maybe you lengthen that right leg away to intensify this. Now you could also keep that right foot absolutely planted. Take 1 more breath. Great. Bring so that left toe is up towards the sky, releasing the left hand. So we just have the right hand holding onto that left leg as you start to guide it across the body, keeping the back down so we're not going to come too far here. And once you come as far as you can go, try to turn that left foot to face the ground, sickling through the ankle. And you can absolutely do this with that right foot planted on the ground still as well. Nice. Let's take 1 more breath in and breath out. Great. Bringing that back to center, release to plant. Let's give both knees a hug in and rock it up to a seat. Oh, Alice, you are right in the way. We're going to come right up to find a seated position, taking the feet wide, sitting up tall. Hands can be behind for support here. We'll take some windshield wipers left and right. Give the hips a little shake out. Trying to find as close to 90 degrees as you can with each of these legs. As you windshield left and right, maybe you keep the hands behind, or you can intensify by taking the hands free, maybe taking them heart center or hips as you windshield it out. Nice. Let's take a couple more breaths to move through the hips here. Great. Pausing with the legs to one side, we'll let them tuck off and come forward to a tabletop position. Coming to find all 4s, hands and knees, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. With an inhale, reaching the heart forward, shoulder blades squeeze together and down. Exhale, push away to round and contract. Inhaling to open the heart forward. Exhaling to round away. Nice. Let's take a couple more breaths to move through the spine. Really thinking about linking your movement to your breath. Great. Last 2. Last 1. And slowly bringing that back to a neutral spine. Let's give the right toes a tuck, extend back through that leg, and take a few shifts forward and back here. Finding a little stretch through the calf, maybe a little through the wrists as you take it forward. Nice active hands are taking a grip into the mat. As we shift for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowing that to a stop. Let's take the right leg and sweep it over to the left, taking a peek over the left shoulder to find a side body stretch. Great. With the next inhale, bringing that right leg back to neutral, lifting it up off the mat. Exhale, pulls knee to nose to step that through to a low lunge. If you're using blocks here, maybe you want to grab those up under the hands, rising up to find your lunge, thinking about hips facing forward, tucking the tailbone as you send the hips down towards the ground, opening through the hip flexor. With an exhale, we'll pull that back to a hamstring stretch, straightening through the right leg, maybe taking a point or a flex through that foot. Nice. Inhaling to shift that forward. Exhaling to pull it back. Now noticing while you're pulling back that the hips aren't drifting too much off to one side. We're trying to keep them fairly center on the mat. And thinking about a long spine here, so we're not trying to round over the leg. The blocks can really come in handy by your sides here to help lengthen. We're going to take a couple more breaths to move between these two shapes. Just like our cat-cow is trying to link that breath to your movement. We'll take 2 more here. Great, this is our last one, and we're going to pause in that hamstring stretch. Nice. With an inhale, really thinking about lengthening through the spine here. Maybe with an exhale, you hinge a little bit more over that front leg. Nice. Inhale, breath. Exhaling, thinking about folding. Let's take one more breath. Letting the body sink into with that exhale. Nice. With the next inhale, shifting back forward to your lunge. You can take our blocks and tuck them up just past the top foot. Tucking the back toe to lift that knee and take a gentle step in with the left foot as we come to a pyramid pose. Both feet are planted on the mat, extending through the legs. Try not to lock the knees out though, still a bit of softness here. And blocks can be there for the hands to try and keep a long spine. Nice. Let's take 2 breaths in this pyramid. And gazing down towards the mat to find that length through the back of the neck. Great. With the next inhale, starting to rise up on the back toes. Exhale, steps that left foot forward, release to our first forward fold Uttanasana. Taking a nice generous bend in the knees here, letting the head hang heavy. With an inhale, we'll come to find a halfway lift, lengthening through the spine. Hands could come to shins, thighs, or blocks. Exhaling to release and fold, softening the knees. With an inhale, to rise up to standing, sweeping the arms. Exhale, forward fold. We'll take it right back down, thinking about hinging at the hips as you fold, softening the knees to let the chest or stomach melt down towards the thighs. Inhaling to lengthen through the spine, halfway lift. Exhaling to fold, planting the hands. We'll step it back to a plank and lower the knees to find our tabletop position. Nice. Let's take that into the other side, tucking the left toes to extend back through that leg, starting with those little shifts forward and back. Alice is just lying belly up here. Oh no, she did not want her belly tickled. That was a look, don't touch. Great, let's take just a couple more here. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Slowing those to a stop. Take the left leg and give it a little sweep over to the right, peeking over the right shoulder to find a side body stretch. And the next inhale, picking that left leg up, bringing it back to extend behind. Exhale, pulls knee to nose, stepping that foot through low lunge. If you're using those blocks, you could grab those up under the hands. Hips facing forward, tucking the tailbone as you send it down. And with an exhale, pulling it back, hamstring stretch. Hips pull back, straightening through the left leg. Maybe you take a point or a flex through that foot. Inhaling to take it forward. Exhaling to pull it back. Nice. Just like the other side, we'll take about 3 more rounds here to move between these two shapes. moving with the breath. Alice, you're gonna clean your butt right there for the whole world to see. Last one. We're gonna hold this next half split or Ardha Anumanasana. And we're gonna try to take a few breaths to let the body relax into the shape, maybe finding a little deeper of a fold. Taking an inhale, trying to lengthen out through the spine. Exhale, maybe you hinge a little further forward over that front leg. Nice, big inhale. Big exhale. Really using that deep exhale to relax through the body. One more time, in and out. Great, with the next inhale, shift it forward to lunge. Blocks can tuck up just past that front foot. Tucking the back toe to lift the knee. Gentle step in with the right foot to extend through the legs, finding our pyramid pose. Toes are facing forward. Try to find length through the spine here. Nice, take 2 more breaths. Nice, with the next inhale, coming up on the back toes. Exhale, steps that right foot forward, releasing to our forward fold. Nice soft bend in the knees. Inhale, lengthen out the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, folds. Inhale, rise to standing, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, we'll take it right back down, hinging at the hips to fold. Inhale, lengthen out, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Bending the knees as much as you need to plant the hands, stepping it back to plank. We'll push it back, downward facing dog. First one here. This is a great one to start to get some more movement into the hamstrings. Maybe you take some pedals through the feet, letting the hips move a little side to side. We'll take about 3 more breaths to find any movement or stillness that you might like here. And then I have a fun little drill for us in our down dog. Great, one last breath and finding your way to stillness, bending the knees as much as you need to lengthen through the spine here. Great, with the next inhale, to rise up high on the toes. Exhale, bend into the knees, push the chest back towards the thighs, any amount. We'll hold here for a breath in. And with an exhale, trying to re-extend through those legs, maybe the heels come a little closer. Let's try that again. Inhaling toes. Exhaling to bend and push back. Hold for an inhale. Exhale to re-extend. Nice, we're gonna try that one more time. Inhaling up high. Exhale, bends. Hold for the in. Exhale, extend. Nice. Let's inhale the toes. Exhale, bend into the knees. This time, gaze towards the top of the mat. Inhaling to step to the top. Coming right up to find a halfway lift. And with an exhale, releasing to fold. Inhale, rise to standing, sweep the arms. And with an exhale, forward fold. Let's take it right back down. Hinging at the hips. Nice soft knees, bending them as much as you need to maybe bring the chest a little closer to the legs. Nice. We want to find a nice long spine here. So we're trying to lengthen through the spine, bending the knees as much as you need. Maybe you want to take a few breaths and stay still here. Or something I like to do in my forward folds is with an inhale, taking a bend into the knees, maybe coming down into this narrow squat. And with an exhale, re-extending to my forward fold. Inhaling to bend. Exhaling to re-extend. Thinking about lengthening through the legs, trying to keep that length through the spine. Nice. We'll take a couple more breaths here, maybe finding a few more of these bend and extends, or maybe you just want to hang out in that forward fold, maybe grabbing for opposite elbows, or even finding hands to feet pose Taking the feet up to slide the hands under so the toes come around the wrists. Maybe giving a little wiggle through the toes to massage into the wrists here. Again, knees can be bent as much as you like, because we want to try and work towards that forward fold with a long spine. So we don't want to be rounded forward. We want to start with the long spine and then slowly work towards extending the legs. All right, we've been upside down for quite some time here now. With the next inhale, let's give it a lengthen through the spine, halfway lift. And with an exhale, finding one more fold. Bending the knees as much as you need to plant the hands, stepping it back to plank, and lowering the knees to take a seat off to one side. Whew. Nice, let's find a Baddha Konasana or butterfly, taking bottoms of the feet together, knees wide. I like to start with my legs a little further apart so my heels aren't too crunched up towards me. This will give you a little more space to work on your folding here. If you like, you can also roll up the back of your mat or even sit on a block to give a little height to find some more space to work on these butterfly folds. But with an inhale, let's lengthen through the spine. You could hang on to the ankles here. Exhaling to hinge that forward, thinking about that long spine as long as you can before releasing to round. Inhale to roll it up. Exhaling to hinge it forward. Nice, let's take 2 more of these spine waves. Great, with the next inhale, sitting up tall, let's extend the right leg out in front, pulling the bottom of the left foot in towards either the right inner thigh or inner calf. So we're finding a seated tree pose here. And with an exhale, let's hinge forward and fold over this leg. Any amount. Again, thinking about that long spine. And really using your exhales here. Nice, we'll take 2 more breaths. Slowly starting to work your way back up, pulling that right leg back in and taking the left leg long as we take this seated tree fold to the other side. Exhale starts to hinge it forward, any amount, as you work down over that leg. Great, we're almost there. Let's take 2 more breaths. Then we're going to try our seated pike fold, which for some reason feels like the hardest one. All right, let's start to take that back up, giving both legs a send out forward. Maybe starting with a little bend in the knees here like we did in our standing Uttanasana. And with an exhale, starting to fold, thinking about a long spine as you hinge forward. Maybe bringing the chest or stomach towards the thighs. Maybe with an exhale, working to extend those legs, maybe a little more as you try to keep that length. Nice, just a couple more breaths here, almost there. Great. Let's slowly take that back up to a seat. We'll roll it down onto the back, maybe reaching the arms forward as you slowly guide it down. And once you arrive on the back, with an inhale, give the right knee a hug in towards the chest. Exhale takes the right knee across body to the left as we find a twist here. Thinking about shoulders anchoring down towards the mat. And you can always use a block to support that right leg if you'd like. Or if you prefer to intensify this twist and maybe add a little bit of a hamstring stretch, right leg can kick straight out to the left side as the left hand reaches for that calf or foot. Left leg is going to squeeze that heel in towards the butt, and the right hand can reach down for that foot, and then trying to re-anchor that right shoulder down to the mat. This is our cat grabbing its tail. This is a much more intense twist. We really want that right shoulder to try and anchor down towards the mat. So whichever twist is feeling better for you tonight, we'll take just 3 more breaths. Great, slowly bringing that back to center, lengthening the legs long. With an inhale, we'll pull the left knee in. Exhale takes the left knee across body towards the right. Shoulders anchoring down. And we have those options. So you could either stay in this gentle twist here, or if you want to intensify, left leg kicks out to the right side, right hand reaches for the calf or foot. Right heel squeezes in towards the butt, and the left hand reaches down to try and grab for the top of that foot. And then you want to re-anchor that left shoulder down on the mat. Cat grabbing its tail. This is one of my favorites. Don't normally bring this one to beginner's flow, but since we're working on hamstring, this is a nice one. We'll take just 3 more breaths. Great, slowly releasing the legs to bring them back to center, maybe stretching them out long as we finish up with 3 nice deep breaths here on the back. And letting each exhale relax through the body. Great, and knowing you can stay there as long as you may like. Whenever you're ready, you could roll it off to the side. Press it up to a seat. And a thank you for being here today. Hello, Christopher. Thank you for popping in the chat. Sorry I didn't respond to that earlier. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday. I'm having lasagna for dinner, so I'm very excited. And corn. It's like corn on the cob season. You're welcome. All right, I'll see you guys next Monday, which is, it's my birthday this week. So when I see you guys next time, I will be 27 years old. Getting up there. All right, I'm gonna let you go. Have a good night, and I'll see you next time.